So I just got the call that every landlord dreads this morning. My tenant has lost her job. Now, while I feel bad for my tenant and we have a great relationship, I also have a business to run. I have a mortgage, I have taxes. So as much as I feel bad for her, I do have to run it like a business, but it can still be a win-win situation. And I'm going to tell you how I set that up. Now, I wanted to do this video and be really honest with you guys, because I think this is something now that we're heading into these recessionary times that is going to start happening. And I want to tell you how I'm dealing with it, how MC Companies deals with it, and give you some ideas on how you can deal with it. So when she called me and said she lost her job, she was very clear that she has been looking for a month and she can't find a job. She doesn't have much in savings and she's in a dilemma. For her, she asked if she could get out of the lease because she wants to go move back in with her parents. As a landlord, here are some of my options that I have. I could have made her stay in the lease and made her pay me through the 12-month period. And she has about 7 months left in her lease, so it's quite a bit of time. But the problem with that is she now has no job and she's stressed, and that's going to put stress on me to try to collect the rent from somebody that obviously isn't working and doesn't have it. That's not a battle that I want to fight as a landlord. I would rather get her out and get a great tenant in. However, I'm not going to let her out of her lease tomorrow. What I told her was, if she can give me in writing a 60-day notice, I'll honor the 60-day notice. So she pays me rent for September and she pays me rent for October. However, I did tell her if I can rent it out before that time frame, I will let her out of the lease early, because you can't double collect rent. So I can't have her pay through November 1 and then have somebody else come in and rent the unit during that time. So what it does for me as a landlord is it gives me a 60-day buffer where I'm going to get rent and I can try to rent out my unit. So if the tenant says I can pay $200 a week, I'm working part-time at Target, then you collect every Friday that $200. So that's going to be about $800 a month. Then the rest of it, you can then put into a loan. So when they get their job, they can start repaying you then. Because mind you, these are good tenants, but good tenants go through hard times too. And we're going to see that more and more as the economy starts to settle. Now, the other thing that I'm doing, because I have these 2 months to fill this apartment, is I'm trying to increase the rent I'm getting from her. You know, I'm renting the apartment to her for $1,800. I'm trying to get $1,900 for it. Now, I clearly want to get a tenant in there before the 2-month time frame. So I'm going to lower it if it doesn't rent, but you really should start higher because I have the time to do so. And that is what the market is demanding. Rents have went up since she moved in the Phoenix area. I think it's extremely important to work with your tenants because these things are going to come up. They're going to have medical issues. They're going to lose their job. They're going to have finance issues. And it's not your responsibility as a landlord, but if you're vetting these people right and they have good credit, they don't have any evictions, they've been a good tenant like she has, then you want to be able to work with them to try to keep them in the unit or get them out of the unit if they want to get out of the unit. But it definitely has to be a win-win situation. So obviously she's very appreciative and grateful that I'm not holding her to 7 months more of a lease and I'm letting her out early. And I'm grateful for her because she's paying me and she let me know that she lost her job and she's made other accommodations that are better for her lifestyle without, this position that she had. So it is a win-win situation. And so during these times, just remember, you're going to have issues like this. If you're a good landlord and you put in good tenants, it's going to be okay. You just have to work through these little details. And it is a pain because now I have to go rent a unit that I thought was going to be rented for at least a year, but that's just part of it, right? That's just part of being a landlord. It's not always easy and it's not always ideal, but it's worth it in the long run. And you always are playing the long game. And I'm trying to benefit from this by actually increasing the rent. I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes for me. And if I'm actually able to increase the rent, if I'm getting the same amount of rent, or if I actually have to decrease the rent in order to fill the unit with a tenant for another 12-month lease.